So with Bitcoin having crashed into the $25,000 mark, I wanted to give an update of my thoughts on where the market is now. Have we capitulated? Are we coming close to a bottom? What to look for, what to expect, and potentially a strategy of how to move forward to be able to benefit from this market crash, because every crash is also an amazing opportunity. By the way, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing down below. It's free. Click that notification bell. And if you want to get email notifications whenever I upload a new video, click the first link in the description down below. Enter your name and email on the page there, and then I'll be able to send you an email every time I upload a video and when there's important updates. You can also follow on Instagram, Twitter, and join our free public Telegram. The links are in the description down below. Alright, so as you can see over here on coin360.com, nice visual representation of what the day looks like, and it is a lot of red. You can basically see Bitcoin is currently at just over $28,000. Ethereum is just under $2,000, and it was already lower. It has bounced up a little bit since the lows, but I don't think it's done just yet. So let's go have a look at what the charts can tell us. So before we look at the current chart, I actually want to play for you a little bit of a video that I made on January 10th, 2022. I'll link to it up here or in the description down below. And you can go and check out the full video for yourself if you want. But this is basically where I warned about the 50-week moving average. If we broke below it, that the potential target would actually end up being the 200-week moving average. We have to be aware and consider the possibility that, hey, maybe this time we broke below it and we are going lower, and maybe, as you can see over here, it broke below it and went back to the 200. This time it broke it. This was a fake out, broke it, came back to the 200. So this time didn't really go through it, bounced, but this time it's below it. So what if it ends up going back to the 200 before starting a huge run up? Okay, so going back to that weekly chart right now, how that has played out since I made that video, what is that now, 4 months ago? Just a little over 4 months ago, you can see the same thing. When I said we break below the 50, we go to the 200, break below the 50, that was a fake out, got to the 200. And here we broke below the 50-week moving average pretty much at the end of 2021, in January 2022. And we got a retest here, and that failed. It got rejected, it was a fake out, and now we are heading down. And as you can see, we are almost at that 200-week moving average. Now, we are not quite there just yet. So you can see Bitcoin is currently at 28,000. The 200-week moving average is currently about 22,000. And as you can see, in March 2020, it actually shot down below it. So that means that there is still potential downside left. And we might see Bitcoin still go towards the $22,000 level. And maybe if there is just a really big market crash, not just in crypto, but also in the stock market or some other macro event, maybe we can see this wick down below the 200, and potentially we could see Bitcoin go into the teens in a worst case scenario. But we are getting closer and closer to basically a capitulation and potentially a bottom, and that is going to be an enormous opportunity, because as I've shared before, you can see here on the chart for yourself, when we got to this 200-week moving average, if you had bought there Bitcoin, Ethereum, other good altcoins, and you had held on for 1 to 2 years, you could have gotten, even here just on Bitcoin, you can see this is went from 3,000, it went to 15,000. That's a 3x just on Bitcoin. Altcoins magnified those gains. You can also see over here, if you had bought, even at the 200-week moving average, even if you bought a little bit late or early, however you want to see it, you didn't get that ultimate wick. You can see if you had held on for a period of just over a year, you'd have done almost a 10x just on Bitcoin. Obviously almost a 40 or 50x on Ethereum and on other altcoins. So I think we're getting close to a point where we are going to see an opportunity like that. Now, I don't know where the exact bottom is. I know everyone wants to know, but in reality, getting the exact bottom to the dollar or to the level, that's going to be very, very difficult. Maybe you have luck if you do that, or maybe you're exceptionally smart and you can do it in some way, but the majority of people are just never going to get that exact bottom. So a better strategy is if we get close to historic levels like that, where we hit the 200-week moving average or go slightly below it, especially if it's in a massive sell-off in a capitulation type event, then you could consider taking risk capital and dollar cost average into that position towards those historic opportunities. And maybe you buy a little bit too early or a little bit too late, but if you average in around that time, in general, so far with cryptocurrency, because it is a growing market, because it is a new asset class where we still only have about 300 million users, that could continue to grow to 500 million, a billion, 2 billion over the next 5 to 10 years. The expectation is still that Bitcoin's price in US dollars, especially also due to the devaluation of fiat currency, is going to end up going a lot higher than that 69,000. So even if you buy, for example, between let's just say 25 and 15,000, or you have a plan to buy between those levels, you know, even if you don't get that exact low, if Bitcoin ends up going to 100,000 or 200,000, it doesn't really matter if you bought at 25,000 or 20,000 or, you know, whatever that low ends up being. So again, guys, not financial advice, just trying to share my opinion here and trying to give you some facts and some data on what happened historically and how you can use that to your advantage over the coming years going forward. And as always, with crypto, we've seen it. I uploaded a video earlier today about Luna, how that completely collapsed and actually almost virtually went to zero. Let's just see, where is it at right now? Probably pretty close to zero. Luna, it's literally at 2 cents. It was $118. So things can go to zero in the crypto space. And for that reason, you cannot over leverage. You cannot overextend. You cannot risk money that you can't afford to lose. Don't use leverage. Don't put up collateral for loans that can get liquidated. All of that stuff is a recipe for disaster. But small bets have huge potential upside. If you can make a 10x or 20x or a 50x, you don't need to risk huge amounts of capital. And in the worst case, even if that small bet that you make goes to zero, it's a very asymmetric bet. So if you put in $1,000, maybe worst case you can lose that $1,000, but the upside might be 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, maybe even $100,000. We've seen it happen in crypto. So the risk reward is very interesting. Of course, make sure to understand all of that and invest anything at your own risk. Sorry guys, this little guy, he wanted to come inside, he heard me recording, and he wanted to be in the video, so here he is. Okay, it's my financial advisor, he tells me when to buy Bitcoin. Hey? Yeah. Okay, so one thing that I've been saying as a possibility also is that we were looking for a test or a sweep of the May 2021 lows. That was kind of the minimum criteria for this pullback that we have now met. We went below the May 2021 lows. So anyone who had long positions with leverage or anything like that with a stop just below those lows, they obviously got liquidated unless they added collateral. And that was basically the requirement. So we could have a little bit more to go. But my thought is that the following is still a potential scenario, which you can see over here. So if we go to the SPX, so if we look at the SPX, the S&P 500, and we zoom all the way out, you can see this goes back to 1991. Forget about the time period. It's more about the pattern of the chart, which repeats on different time frames. So in this case, obviously, it took like 2 decades, but these patterns repeat on different time frames, on monthly, weekly, daily, and even all the way down to 4-hourly, hourly, and so on and so forth. So this pattern so far looks very similar with a double top that we have in Bitcoin, where we had a slightly higher high over here, and then we had a major sell-off, and you can see that was a sweep of those lows, right? So it tested it initially, it bounced, it went below it, took out the liquidity, the stops below this low over here, and then it went on a major run up, and that reversal was also relatively quickly. It wasn't a major, like a super long drawn out bear market. It was more of a V-shaped recovery. So if we go back to Bitcoin over here, we have a very similar scenario here with a double top, slightly higher high, a major sell-off that almost went to the lows, but it didn't quite, it bounced, and now we got that sweep of those lows. And whether or not, you know, this drops a little bit more and it goes to 22 or 20, or maybe even a wick down below it into the teens, the potential for this scenario is possible that if this was the bear market, it bottomed out, it flushed everyone out because obviously a lot of stops got hit, a lot of liquidations happened, a lot of shitcoins got washed out, then you can see we have potential for maybe a V-shaped type recovery where somewhere maybe towards the end of the year or next year, 2023, we start a new run up from this level, from this 200-week moving average. And if we follow that pattern, which I showed you the SPX, but it appears in many different charts and many different indexes and patterns where you get this double top scenario, but it doesn't end the larger trend. We get that initial sell-off, but afterwards we go higher and we break that double top level, and usually we double or triple that level. So there is possibility that we get that V-shaped type recovery, and in the next, say, 1 to 2 years, we get a major run in the price of Bitcoin where it could potentially go to $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000, way above that double top level. Now, of course, this is all pure speculation, but so far there's similarity there. So what we have to see now is basically just take it a week at a time and see how this ends up playing out. Do we get some sort of bottom around this 200-week moving average? That could be, in the near future. It can be in the next couple of days, or, it could take a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months. But sometime before the end of the year, I do expect some sort of bottom and then hopefully a recovery and a rally. And that's going to be interesting because that's also where the opportunity is, not just in buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, which, by the way, are kind of a lot safer than altcoins in the sense that they are most likely to be here in 5 years from now or 10 years from now. But a lot of these newer altcoins, even the layer 1 type platforms and things like that, that may sound incredible now, they might not be here in 5 or 10 years from now. But Bitcoin or Ethereum, they probably will. But obviously the altcoins also have a higher upside potential. So last time Bitcoin did maybe about a 20x or 25x, I think, from those lows, which obviously is insane already. I don't think every time it happens, it's going to get less and less and less. It's diminishing returns. So if it did 20x last time, maybe it does 10x this time, or 5x. 5x from the point of 22,000 is just over $100,000. It doesn't sound too crazy. But altcoins, when Bitcoin does a 5x, might actually end up doing a 10x or a 20x or a 30x. So there is some potential, depending on your risk tolerance and that kind of stuff, is, how risky do you want to get? And you can make a few small bets and maybe have huge potential upside. But also keep in mind that last time, just over here in the March 2020 crash, if you would have just bought Ethereum at $90, you could have done a 50x if you held it all the way up to the top. So, I mean, a 50x is already insane. Again, I think there's diminishing returns, so we're probably not going to see a 50x return in Ethereum, but maybe we see a 10x or a 20x. Maybe Ethereum drops to $1,500 or $1,000 and does a 10x and goes to $10,000. That is still an incredible return and an incredible asymmetric bet opportunity that we're getting here right now. So I don't want to make the video too much longer. This is basically the most important thing to watch because altcoins are going to follow Bitcoin. So we need to see where Bitcoin bottoms. Does it hit that 200-week moving average? Does it go slightly below it? Does it go slightly above it? But somewhere here, we're looking for a bottom in the near future, I'd say within the next couple of months, and then see if that's going to reverse around and get a V-shaped recovery with new highs potentially within the next 1 to 2 years here in crypto. And then also look at what is happening with altcoins and potentially being able to get some really low entries on coins that might end up doing 10x, 50x, 100x, who knows in future. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. I do read all of them personally, so I appreciate every one of those comments. Smash the like button. It does help the video get out to more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button down below. And then if you want to know what I'm personally doing, which coins I'm buying, when I'm selling in real time, I'm sharing that information with our members inside the VIP Discord group and inside my Intelligent Cryptocurrency membership. It is a complete crypto education and community platform. I'm in the Discord chat groups every single day sharing my updates, my information, my insights, my own buy and sell movements, and you are welcome to join. It is the second link in the description down below. You have a full 60 days to try it out, risk-free, because there is a 100% money-back guarantee. So come hang out with us, come and learn, come and get prepared, understand these markets better to have a better edge. Second link in the description down below. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video.